Frankfurt is a very historical place. We have homes here that can't be torn down. We have different areas of things that can't be moved because of the historical systems, what they meant. Some of the older things we had up on Frankfurt Avenue where the hospital was, used to be Frankfurt Hospital. We had nothing but big mansions all along Frankfurt Avenue. One thing, our church, because this is an old establishment, one of the first older churches that was established with people in the neighborhood that, paid, mortgaged their homes and built this church, bought the property and paid for it. And they didn't tarry, they just worked on it. And they got together and built this church into what it is now. Frankfurt was a homebody, family-oriented place where everybody took care of their children, everybody took care of their property, worried about school and education. Everybody worked. Everybody had a job, and everybody was highly educated. There was a lot of people that were principals, worked for the government, worked at our old Frankfurt Arsenal, Naval Depot, the post office, and school teachers, and some of our doctors. We had a lot of black doctors and mixed race here. I've been here all my life. My family before that, my grandfather, hundreds of years our family's been here. And it was nice and country and it was peaceful. And it's just our hometown. Everything just was all families together, big families. My grandfather, for one, worked for John B. Kelly, Grace Kelly's father, built all these big schools, brick mason. My grandmother is Amish from Pennsylvania Dutch country. And they all grew up right here in Frankfurt in this church, all of them homegrown. None of them were in the hospital except for one. She had 21 brothers and sisters, my mother did. My father had 7, and they were all born here in Philly and all lived in Frankfurt. We always decorated our streets. We even won the best blocks, and even for our gardens in the back. Our backyards, our fronts, we would win the best lawn by the Horticultural Association. We always kept our areas clean. Watch what your children do. Sledding, all kinds of activities. And church. That's one of the big things in our area. We have churches on every other corner. And people paid attention to their children with schools, got involved with their children in schools. And also with the holidays, everybody would go from house to house. Everybody go visiting from house to house. And even just with regular times of the year. Everybody was out there sweeping their area, having coffee back and forth. And they just, they intermingled. Frankfurt Avenue was a beautiful shopping area with Bob Sachs, which we had the big association. We had wonderful stores, and people came from all over to Frankfurt to shop. I'd like to change the violence that has come into our Frankfurt. It's really sad, people have moved here. They don't care about their children, what their children do. They don't have their children respecting older people. They don't have them respecting the teachers. I work in a school system. And they don't respect anymore. And they definitely don't take care of their property. We have lost a lot of members of the neighborhood. A lot of the old soldiers have died, as we call them. A lot of them have left, and then they're renting. Section 8 is bringing in people to live in homes. They're taking over the homes where the families have passed away or moved away. And nobody else wants to take the homes, so they turn into Section 8 houses, and they're not taking care of them. I work in the school system, and people, it seems like they just don't care anymore. With the Home and School Association, to do things, watch their neighborhood around where their children are, and to care about them and watch over all children. Frankfurt is home. Frankfurt is where we're from. My son went away to college, has more degrees than anything. His home is right around the corner, right around from me. It's convenient. It's home. We love Frankfurt. And we're not going to let anybody chase us from our Frankfurt. Home is the place that we have in our hearts. And we'll always have Frankfurt in our hearts.